think one thing we don't talk enough about is when it's time to let a friendship go or it's time to let a relationship go. And I think it's important to talk about that. And one thing that makes it, I guess, a little bit more difficult or a little more challenging or just unusual is when you talk about it in the improv community, because the improv community is all about support, community, and being a team player and ensemble and stuff. So how do you talk about the times when you just want to say no to working with someone over and over again, right? So I think that it's important to do that. It's important to have boundaries and to set up healthy relationships that help you be more productive. And you want people that encourage you going forward. You want people to enable your bad habits or to buy into your vices. You want people that challenge you, and you also want people that support your ideas. So I think that there's a conversation that needs to be had of how do we cut ties. It's going to be an interesting conversation that I'm going to start on the improv boost. I already told you that the next course is going to be on leadership, and I already have a series of teachers selected, but I haven't asked them yet because I want to see who pays for the achievements tests. And then if more than 8 people do, then we're going to do the leadership, which is cool. But I'm really excited about it. And the people I have in mind, I think would be awesome. Uh, but yeah, so I think another conversation we have to talk about is cutting ties, is that there are toxic people. Like there are people that are narcissists and sexual predators and egotists. And those people are pretty easy to say, let's not talk to them anymore. And at a certain level, there's like a banishment where like this community doesn't want to work with them anymore, this team or this company doesn't want to work with them anymore until they change their behaviors or show an interest in changing their behaviors, right? And then that happens. But then there's like a much more gray area where sometimes it's just the way two people interact. Like it's that one person has one views and another person has the views, and how they abrasively interact with each other is not healthy for one another. Now, neither one person necessarily is black and white, right or wrong, but they just have different views on how to approach the same thing. And that happens especially in the arts, right? And then there's personality conflicts, and that's not even talking about very legitimate things like people maybe may have like social disorders or social challenges or anxiety disorders and anxiety challenges or emotional challenges. Like, so even like I'm not even talking about those yet. Like we're still talking about people that just naturally don't get along. And you know what? In my opinion, that's fine. That is totally fine. Everyone doesn't have to be my friend. Everyone doesn't have to be your friend. It's not a flaw on you. It's not a flaw on them, honestly. It's just that people have been raised or they have different priorities or their culturals. Like everyone has, there's a scarce resource in the world and it's called your life. Because that scarce resource is the amount of time you have on this earth. And you shouldn't be throwing it away at people who you just don't work well together or you don't want to work with. Like there may be people that just their product is not what. So here's an example, and you're gonna go duh, but like literally, like so that yes, like right. So I like to do improv, right? And so let's say that I have a friend that does wonderful ceramic work. I love ceramics. Okay, I love ceramics. And they ask me to help them with their ceramics projects that takes 4 hours every day. I have to say no because in order for me to pursue my improv project, although I do like ceramics, it's not my passion, I have to say no and create my boundaries there, right? So there's people that do different products altogether. There's even people in a more gray area that pursue a philosophy of improv that I don't want to pursue. There may be people that pursue, oh, here's a good one, musical improv. Like I love musical improv. I love a good musical improv show. I don't really have that burning desire within me to be part of a musical improv show. I will sing in an improv set if it requires it. But as far as aiming for a musical improv show, I'm not. That's not my passion. Like I said, I enjoy it, like ceramics. And before you think I'm talking out of my butt, like my uncle Tommy was a ceramist, and I have some. I don't. Dang it, I usually have it up here, but I have some of his work. It's beautiful work. And then like musical improv, I love seeing a good musical improv show, but it's just not what I am aiming for. I can appreciate the art of others without wanting aiming for it, without aiming for it. I can appreciate it without trying to produce it myself. To a certain level, you have to cut ties with people that do not. You have to choose where to invest your time, right? You have to choose. You have a scarcity of time in your life, and you have to choose where you're going to spend that time. And you could waste it playing games on your phone. You could waste it saying, "Hey, do you want to hang out this weekend?" and go out with friends for hours, and all you do is spend time on your phone talking to someone else who's not even there. And what are you doing? Like, did you want to hang out with that friend? Did you want to talk to the friend on the phone? Or did you want to produce something? Did you want to have at the end of the week a show or a pot that you made or a painting that you painted or whatever? Like, you choose where to invest your time, right? And I'm not saying you can't collaborate with people outside of your interests, outside of your genres to learn something. But what I am trying to say is it's healthy to cut ties. It's healthy to cut ties from people that are just not right for you at this phase in your life. And that happens. And that happens to me a lot, especially in social media. People don't like something I say or how I phrased it and whatever it is. Like, that's fine. You don't have to like what I say, and I don't have to like what you say. You don't even, you know, you don't have to follow it or listen to it or like it or comment on it. It just doesn't matter, because that's your prerogative, and I'm not going to take that power away. That's your voice. I'm not going to take that away from you. At the same time, a disagreement does not mean that I need to quell my voice. Someone that disagrees with me or doesn't see the same or has the same experience as I do doesn't mean that I need to quell my voice in any specific way either. So that's, I mean, then you get into like offensive stuff, and I'm not talking offensive stuff. I'm just talking about difference of philosophy. Um, so yeah, so I think that it's healthy for you to cut ties. It's healthy for you to look at someone and say, and sometimes it doesn't need to be so as egregious as cutting ties as like, I'm not going to talk to you. But there's something healthy in just getting distance from you. Maybe you just I need some time. And you can tell them that if you feel very open to telling them, or you can just say, you can just ghost them for a little while. I don't know. Whatever it is sometimes you need to cut people from your life, and sometimes you just need distance. And that's healthy for you. That's healthy for you. So do stuff that's healthy for you, and one of those things may be cutting ties or creating distance between people in your own field. Like I said, it's really strange in improv where like we're evangelists about support and community and yes and da da da. So there could be people in the community that I don't agree with, but I still support them. There's so many teams and companies on improv booths that I've shared. I'm like, that's not my goal, that's not my vision, but I'm trying to support. My vision is to help support smaller voices to get louder. So that's what I do. But yeah. So choose where you invest your time. It's a flip of like, don't waste your time. Choose about where you invest your time to make your life better, to make yourself happier, to make yourself more emotionally happy. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that we could spend more time with that. There's nothing wrong. I'm going to close on this because I think this is important. There's nothing wrong with seeing a therapist, even if you do like an online therapy session or whatever. There's nothing wrong with seeing a therapist just to check in. It's so valuable to have someone who's a third party that's not invested in stuff you're talking about, that's not invested in you specifically, only invested in making you better, right? Like if you talk to your mom, like, oh, talk to my mom, it's like a therapist. There's still an investment there. There's still some sort of investment in how things come out and turn out. Whereas if you have a neutral third party that goes, this is what I see as an observer, that's so healthy. That's so healthy. And someone who's a trained therapist, not just your friend. That's what I'm saying. You can have friends, and healthy, great relationships are awesome, but there's nothing wrong with seeing a therapist. Seeing a therapist is like an improv team having an improv coach. That third eye, it's that outside eye that goes, this is what I see, as opposed to like someone that's two in the middle of it. Because sometimes the best perspective is someone that's not in the middle of it, but someone that's on the outside. Sometimes. I'm just saying, destigmatize therapists. See you later.